lovelies, it's Miss Lady Lace here on my Pinup Glamour channel, and today we are going to be talking about vintage hats. I recently procured a new vintage hat from Bluebird Vintage, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about my favorite style of hat and how I like to wear them. I very much have a hairstyle that I like to wear every day, and my favorite type of hat fits really well with this style as it kind of sits behind my victory roll and really frames my face. Today I will be featuring this new hat and I'll be talking more about this soon. I do have a whole collection of this specific style, and this is only a very small sample of what's in my collection. These are quite petite hats which literally just sit on your head like so. Really easy to style, and it works really well with victory rolls and other styles like this. These hats are commonly known as a Juliet cap or a cocktail hat. They're very much that 1940s, 1950s style, and they really come in a wide variety of styles. Quite often these hats are really nicely structured and they have a wire within them, so you can adjust them to fit your head. Especially if there's any pressure points, you can bend that wiring out to alleviate some of that discomfort. The most recent addition to my cocktail hat collection is this beautiful number here. It features greens and brown tones with floral decorations. There's little autumn leaves, a velvet bow, and this gorgeous pleated leaf on either side. If I turn this hat upside down, you can really see that wire structure that's been used to create this hat, with the embellishments added on top of this. These other hats don't have any elastics, but this one does. It does look to be quite a new elastic that someone has tied on, but it's helpful nonetheless. With most of these hats, they pop on quite easily and they aren't going to shake off or anything like that. I think even if you held me upside down, this would not fall off. With cocktail hats, they're usually pretty easy to assess which way they sit. You can see with this one, it has a flat front top and it's rounded and more curved at the back. So this one would just simply sit on like so. And I really love the side details that highlight here. This is very similar with this hat with that similar front, and it also has a bow which would make less sense to be worn in this direction, so it fits really nicely. With my new hat though, I think there is a bit more creative liberty in which direction you could wear this hat, as it would really fit well in either direction. Looking at the bow at the back, I would say it would sit like so, and you could put it a little bit lower on the back of the head if you desired. But for my classic look, I'm actually going to flip it the opposite way and allow the ribbons to actually be flowing upwards. At a later point, I'll probably pin these down with a bit of thread just so they sit nicely here. And so this is going to sit a little bit more here, which really highlights these forward. Before today's video, I have already styled my hair. I have lots of tutorials available online for this specific look, but you can wear your hair in many different variations. Essentially, you want a middle section here quite clear where you can sit your hat down. You can have a fringe, a victory roll, or your hair just swept back. The back you can have down in tight curls, in the longer Hollywood waves, or even in an updo. As long as you're not blocking through this area with any victory rolls or styling, this hat can be worn with most of these looks. As you can see with most of my other hats, I can simply just pop them on and they're ready to wear. With the new hat though, it does have the elastic. So I'm going to just need to execute a little bit more caution to achieve this look and not wreck my current hair. So with the elastic, I'm going to pop my hands in this. So if I flip my hands up, I've got the hat up in the direction I want to wear it. So I can scoop it under my hair and pop that on. So if you have the elastic in your hat, I'm facing my fingers backwards, and what I'm going to do is catch underneath my hair and pull this up until I can sit that where I want it to be placed. From here I can then play with the positioning and make sure it's sitting beautifully. The elastic is catching under my ear and behind my hair. I am so excited to have this beautiful hat in my collection. A lot of people ask me where they can buy hats like these from, and I buy majority of my hats from either Bluebird Vintage or the Polka Dot Vintage markets. Polka Dot is a fabulous market that's held twice a year in Perth, and Bluebird Vintage is also a fabulous local store. I'd recommend keeping out an eye for them at vintage markets, antique stores, vintage stores, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, eBay, and all these kinds of places. Anywhere you can find vintage, you can find vintage hats. Pricing wise, you can really have a wide variety based on how unique and different these hats are. You can get them as little as $20, and I've paid as much as $80 for a hat like this. I'd love to know in the comments below if you like to collect vintage hats and what style you like to wear. I truly hope you've enjoyed today's video and found it a bit of fun. If you have, be sure to give it a like and a comment, as that really helps me out. And if you'd like more vintage styling inspiration, I post super regularly to Instagram and TikTok. I'll pop a little link here as well as at the end of the video. And to never miss out on my vintage fun, be sure to hit the subscribe button below, and I'll be seeing you all real soon. Stay glamorous!